Alright, hey y'all. A friend of mine asked me to do a video on how I do my oxtail. We have some black pepper, just standard table salt. We have some oxtail seasoning, some parsley flakes, and some curry, onion, green pepper, and tomato. I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting this stuff up. Okay, I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to season my veggies. Some black pepper, half a teaspoon of pepper. Same with the salt, maybe like half a teaspoon. This is our oxtail seasoning, half a teaspoon. Same thing with the parsley, half a teaspoon. Just a light bit of curry. We don't have to go too crazy with the curry, okay? Now we're gonna mix our veggies, okay? All right, so the same thing we did with the vegetables, we're gonna do with the meat. Half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon, not half teaspoon, of oxtail seasoning, okay? Let's make it a tablespoon. Then we're gonna go back to our teaspoon. We're gonna go to a teaspoon, half teaspoon of parsley, just a little curry in there, and so let's mix it up. Now we're going to take the vegetables we mixed earlier, okay, and we're going to put it with our meat. We're going to mix them together nicely here. We're going to turn this on to about 8, and we're going to allow this to cook for about 20-25 minutes until it browns. What we're going to do now is we're going to add some water to this. We're going to add 1.5 cups of water, okay? Now what we're also going to add is some browning beef cube, okay? You can get any brand you like. It doesn't really matter. I like to start off with half a beef cube. And you see she's starting to turn a nice brown from the browning. Let's throw our lid back on. And what we'll do is we'll test our gravy. We'll taste it and see if we like how it tastes. And if you like how it tastes, then by all means, you're going to the next step, which is the Instapot. We have our oxtail, all nice and brown. I ended up adding about 1/2 cup more water, and I did add the rest of the beef cube. I also added a little bit of hot pepper. This is a 1-drop pepper from Barbados, and it's called 1 drop for a reason. It's pretty spicy. And this is what's great about doing it on the stove first. You can literally cook it up and create your gravy and know what it's going to taste like after it's been in the oven. Okay, so if you're doing it in the oven, honestly, it's going to take a bit of time, at least 3 hours. If you're doing it in an Instapot or a pressure cooker, well, we'll have this done now. It's been about 25 minutes already. We'll have this done now in about 35 minutes, okay? If you're using the Instapot, you know you gotta have it on sealed. I'm gonna turn it on meat, 28 minutes. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with the Instapot, this is honestly a great little appliance. It's amazing for those, like beef ribs, oxtail, curry goat, and all those types of things. It's just amazing. It cuts your time down dramatically. So once you first plug it in and you choose your setting, you can adjust down and up for how long you want it to cook. And the first time I used this, I cooked my oxtail for about 35 minutes and it was fall off the bone. Realistically, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to prep itself. It starts steaming at the top. You start seeing some steam here, and eventually the unit locks that steam in, and it uses that steam to pressurize the unit and thereby cooking the meat. And it's amazing. Trust me. 25 minutes on the stove and 28 minutes in the Instapot. So under an hour. Finished product here. Okay, let's take that out. Some people like to throw some potatoes in with their meat and stuff. I don't usually do that, so, but potatoes, carrots, you can always add that. Once I have my meat out, I'm going to put a little flour in this gravy to thicken it a little bit. Sauce. I'm going to pour my gravy right over it. Take a little parsley. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is what your oxtail looks like. Delicious, ready to go, ready to serve. You enjoyed this and you learned something, and maybe next time I'll do some curry goat or something like that. Yeah? Alright, peace out.